This is Emily Shields, Brian Hastings, and Carson Vineyard, and we are in Dr. Bailey Norwood's Advanced Quantitative Methods class, and we will be discussing with you today a recent taste test we did with SST software employees in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Our objectives of the experiment included three things. Which meat out of beef, pork, and goat do consumers prefer? We wanted to determine overall consumer preferences and help consumers make smarter or better shopping decisions. A little bit of background on goat production and consumption in the United States. There are 2.81 million goats in the United States alone, and of those 2.81 million goats, 2.28 are meat goats. As you can see in the picture to the right, that picture represents literally every goat in the United States, with one dot representing 500 goats. The recent increase in goat consumption is related to an increase in immigrant populations from the Latin America and Caribbean countries, where they consume goat meat often. The reason that Texas is so heavily populated with goats is because most of those immigrants tend to flock to Texas, and goat consumption is also increased during holiday seasons, whether it be Christmas, Easter, or the 4th of July. During the experiment, we asked participants to rank goat, beef, and pork according to their tenderness, flavor, juiciness, and overall satisfaction. As you can see below, this is a photo of one page of the questionnaire, and participants could rank the meat from dislike extremely all the way to like extremely. When we conducted the experiment, our sample population were the SST software employees in Stillwater, Oklahoma. The variables we controlled were the labeling of the meats, which were placed in clear plastic containers with lids labeled with circle, square, or triangle. The questionnaire was in 9 different versions. You could have A, B, and C, and then the letters were mixed in with green, blue, and red. After the taste test concluded, members of the class utilized Google Docs to enter the results. Each survey or questionnaire was entered by members of the class, and data was also entered slowly and double-checked to ensure no inaccuracy. Another way we controlled inaccuracies in the data was by having each survey entered 3 times by 3 students. Any errors that were found were omitted from the results.
So now we're going to talk about the results of the actual experiment. And in this graph right here, we're going to talk about the overall satisfaction of each participant by the 3 different meats. You can see here by the bar chart that we have that beef is heavily on the like side, being like slightly, like moderately, like very much, like extremely. They have a large number of participants that marked that in their beef area. For goat, it's a little different. You can see the orange where, yes, one person did say they liked it extremely, but there's also people who said they disliked it slightly. For pork, on the other hand, it also varies. Some of the results of the experiment we saw was how distinct each meat could be compared to the other 3. For the pork, we saw 15 participants said that it was the most distinct meat, saying beef and goat were more similar than pork. So 48% of those believed that pork was the most distinct, while 26% said beef and 23% goat, while one person did not answer that question correctly. In these graphs we see here that we were deciding how participants would rank each meat. On the left here, this is how each individual participant ranked the meat, whether it be beef, goat, or pork, ranking 1 through 3, 1 being the favorite, 3 being the least favorite. You see that beef clearly had the most first place votes, pork coming in second with the most votes, and goat coming in last with the most first place votes. People apparently thought that beef was the best. On the right side, we see how participants thought others would rank the meat. Again, beef coming in first. Most people thought beef would be the favorite of the participants. Pork rose slightly over how each individual ranked it, meaning people thought, oh, I guess more people would like pork compared to beef and goat. We as a group can conclude that we believe the lack of goat meat consumption in the United States does not necessarily have to do with the taste, but rather the word goat itself, being unappealing to the American consumer. Goat is often considered more similar to beef than any of the other meats tested, as goat tastes more similar to beef than it does pork. Majority of the participants that we tested felt beef is the favorite of the three meats, which was no surprise because the area of the country we are in. We were surprised to discover, though, what people thought of goat meat. Many felt that it was very similar to beef and that they would actually eat goat meat in the future. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and have a great day.